And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another broadcast here of the HomeStory Cup 27 Group Stage Replay Cast. I'm of course VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat. Welcome one and all to our catch-up stream of matches that occurred during HomeStory Cup. For those that are curious, we were live over the weekend covering HomeStory Cup 27. We were the official B stream. We were covering the group stage and the playoffs as well. All the VODs are available on YouTube and for a time on Twitch as well. But after we covered those matches, of course, when it comes to the group stage, the problem there was that there were 3 matches happening at the same time, and there were only 2 English streams. We had the main stream and we had the B stream, but there was no other side stream available, so a third of the games were never casted. They were, well, I should say just under a third, because there were definitely some times where we were able to cover 2 series back to back, just because one series was faster, the other series was slower to start. So there were some exceptions, but in general, around a third of the matches were not broadcasted, in English at least, so we're here to catch up on those matches. Let's go. We're here to catch up via replays. So bearing in mind, these are games that happened over the weekend, so this is going to be a replay cast, and we do have 5 matches ready for us here tonight. Up first, we have Gerald versus Moja. Again, we're going to be jumping into Group C. Yesterday we were live with Group A and with a couple of Group B matches. Here we're live with Group C and a couple of Group B matches as well. We'll have a final and third broadcast catching up on Group D, most likely in a couple of weeks. I say a couple of weeks, our schedule's very full. It's very so I would love to cast like tomorrow or the day after, but Fusion Esports League, the qualifiers are coming up right around the corner, so we're going to be covering those qualifiers. We have MSO, we have KSL, we have STC, we have Wardy TV Monday, Pigstar Cup. Like, our schedule's pretty jam-packed for next week, so maybe in 2 weeks we can cover Group D. So Group D is going to be a little bit more delayed, but we'll get around to it. Eventually, before EWC. That is the plan. For now, though, we're going to be jumping in. Again, we're going to be featuring players like Gerald, Moja, Zoun, uThermal as well, alongside Spirit and Showtime. So we do have 5 best of 3s, and we're jumping into the first one. We're jumping into Gerald and Moja facing off on Maganatha. Let's go. Let us go. But I hope you've all been having a lovely week and a lovely time. Again, it was a pretty intense weekend when it comes to HomeStory Cup. Very intense, very intense. But here we go. We're jumping into game number 1 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha. We have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the German Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is Moja. We go again. Gerald, we actually just covered him last night. We were going through the podcast, and of course, Gerald, he was interviewed by the SC historian over at DreamHack Dallas. He was able to give us a little bit of insight as to how Gerald got introduced to StarCraft at a younger age, how he became a fan of StarCraft, and of course, even how currently he's, I will say, lawyer. He works in law. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. He did finish his degree, did finish his master's in law, and now that is of course working in that when he can, when he's not of course competing and practicing and training in StarCraft, and also has recently launched a new league, launched the Fusion Esports League, which is a big offline event happening in Poland, which also has some international representation as well, which we are going to be casting this weekend, specifically the qualifiers. The qualifiers are going to be this weekend for the Fusion Esports League, and Geralt is one of the organizers of said tournaments. He might still compete in it as well. We'll see. Curious to see if he does compete or if he's just there to organize, to cast even as well. He did mention how he was also casting I Am Katowice in Polish. For now, though, we're going to be settling in. Double gas opener out of Moja. Likewise, standard opener out of Gerald's Gate Expand into Gate Cybercore into Expansion. So standard opener here out of Gerald, and Moja being a little bit more tech heavy here. Also, welcome to Maganatha. And fun fact, we actually didn't get to cast Maganatha at all yesterday. It was a little bit more vetoed, rarely seen in these best of 3s. Great to see it here once again. Let's go. Maganatha, of course, being one of the larger, if not the largest map of the map pool, so it's one of the more extreme maps out there. We'll see how our players make use of it. We'll see how committed Moja is going to be as he opens up Rack's factory straight into Tech Lab. Now, with the earlier Tech Lab, this tells me that we have access to earlier Cyclone production. We can go into a starport, go into an add-on stop as the probe scout is denied. We'll not go for a one base all-in. Natural base is on the way. So he throws in a CC. Is building up. Yep, there's the add-on swap to go for the earlier Cyclone. Technically, we could try to go like tank into Starport into draw play, but there we go. Cyclone production has begun. And Gerald, he does have to be careful here with his initial move out, as he doesn't want to get caught out. Again, this is the risk you take if you do move out with the Stalker. Can hold its own against the Reaper, but again, it can also get caught up by the Cyclone. Stalker does zone. Oh, does poke in. Looking to delay the CC. The Cyclone about to pop out. And we'll shut this down. Yeah, it does shut this down here. Stalker wants the SCV. Up, can he get it? What about? Nah, he will. He will get it. The SCV does go down. Did not escape in time. And with that, does successfully delay the CC. But at a cost. At a cost of the Stalker. So I'll say a better trade here for Moja. Behind this, there's the Starport. Yep, going into the add-on swap. So we have the early Tech Lab into one Cyclone into Cloak Banshee, or into at least Banshee play. So there we go. Cloak is being researched. Cheeky moves there by Moja. Gerald, he is aware, in the sense that he's aware of the early Tech Lab, so there is a high chance that it is going to be a Cloak Banshee. He does know this. Technically, this could be a second Cyclone into a Medevac into a double Cyclone drop. Like, there are other avenues here. Oh, Reaper is zoned away. Barely does escape. Early tank production as well, Jesus. And this might actually lead into a move out. I was assuming just to harass, just to get damage done across the map. But Moja, he might commit a little bit harder here. At the same time, currently, how many gateways? 3. So 3-gate blink out of Gerald, very safe play. From here, he will be expanding. Now, the downside of what's going on here is that he is delaying his robo. His robo is delayed. Gerald, he does, he scouts. Yeah, he scouts, he knows. Hallucination does confirm that Cloak Banshees are coming, but this robo is late. And the Banshee is moving out. It's going to be close. It's going to be close here. Once robo is done, we can chrono out the Observer. It's going to be very close. I believe damage should be done. How much? We're here to find out. Oh, nice interception. Stalkers, they move out. They find the Banshee. Cloak is done. Does force a Cloak early on. And remember, there is 0 detection right now, but the Banshee is being delayed. It's being delayed. It's 0 Cloak. Like, there's zero detection is what I meant to say. My apologies. So the robo is still on the way. Still no Observer. We're committing into Hyperflight Rotors. Are we going to mech? And again, the Banshee could be getting free damage to the natural, but a little bit too tentative. Yeah, Moja does miss his opportunity. Gonna be forced back. And Gerald holds. God, he bluffs his way into a hold. Wait, he still doesn't have the Observer, by the way. But the Banshee never checked, never poked in. Moja, he kind of psyched himself out. He believed that Gerald would be ready. Banshee gets caught out. Does take down 2 Stalkers. But we're committing. We're just rallying everything across the map, and it is going to be mech. Again, once you see Hyperflight Rotors, it screams mech here from Moja. So second factory. Sending everything across the map. Gerald is the law. He is the law. No, no. Oh, nice snipe. Takes out one of the Banshees. Force field as well. Delays the push. Tanks are out of range. Barely out of range. Charge about to finish up. But we got some shield batteries. Sami's still looking quite fragile here for Moja. There are tanks, yes, but is that going to be enough? Here come the Zealots. Okay, they tank those shots. Get on top of the Cyclone. Nice target firing here on top of the Stalkers. But Gerald, he will clean this up. Yeah, he will clean this up completely. From here, he can blink on forward. Dives on the tank and shuts it down. And behind this, Moja has nothing left. I mean, he sent everything across the map. Okay, he has 1 tank, he has 1 Banshee. He's making more tanks behind this. Again, embracing mech. 3rd TC's on the way. But that was a brutal loss for Moja, and he did 0 economic damage. 3rd base is still up and running. The economy untouched. 2nd tank has arrived. We can blink behind the mineral line. Does force a bit of friendly fire. Gets 3 SCVs. As the force field actually blocks in 2 SCVs as well, so nice cheeky move there by Gerald. At the same time, Banshee does hit the main, but there is a shield battery. Once again, forcing friendly fire, 7 SCV kills. Just sending in 1 Zealot at a time. Ooh, another tank shot goes off at 9 SCVs. Now going to be forced back. Here is forced back. Oh, catching at the Banshees. Just see Moja getting the Hyperfire Rotors, getting into just a, I was going to say battle mech, but a bit of everything. We got a high tank counts, then Cyclones, then Hellions, Banshees. He's making it up. And the game will continue. Now, we spoke earlier how this is the largest map of the map pool, so going to mech here does make plenty of sense. You do have a lot of breathing room, you have a lot of bases to expand to as well. So Moja is looking to slow the game down. And we'll see what Gerald can get done. Banshees they head towards the third. Likewise, Gerald is being active. Now 3 Banshees, they can one-shot probes. There's a cannon to defend. So you go 1, 2, 3 probes going down. Nice damage. At the same time, Gerald does push with his main army. And this siege line is looking quite intimidating here. There's a lot of Hellbats to protect the tanks, but they're not quite in position. They are exposed here at the left-hand flank. And the goal of these Zealots is to close that distance to get on top of the tanks to force friendly fire to break through. But I believe there should be enough Hellbats. Yeah, and they rotate. Yeah, they reposition. Army gets spotted. Moja is aware. And as long as we have the Hellbats here to tank in front of said tanks, he should be okay. Tanks do Zoun. Banshees, they hit the right hand side. Soldiers, they defend. Prism behind the army. Oh. Warping is denied. So far, Moja, he is turtling well. Oh god, am I going to Skytos? God damn it. Alright, we're going to be here for a while. Despite the aggression of Moja with stabilizing 3 bases, Gerald is getting a 4th expansion. I will say this 4th base is late for Gerald, so that is slowing him down. Ideally, he does want to be up in expansion and is working towards Skytos. Double Stargate, Fleet Beacon, and towards Tempest production. So we're going to strap in, settle down. Prism goes down in the main. We can see Gerald trying to reposition. Oh, massive on siege though. Uh-oh. Moja, he does on siege. Not quite ready for this. Banshee goes down. Army gets spotted. And Gerald, he's ready for the Zealot run by. He's ready for it. Slowing down the army. Yep, Zealots are moving in. Back at home, there's nothing to defend. There's no bunker. There's no Marines, of course. Gerald's slowing down the push. Catching out some of the Hellbats. So I'll say catch reinforcements. They're catching at Hellions, Hellbats, Cyclones as well. SME's going to be falling. Moja's committed. We can still see Gerald trying to zone down. Trying to. Oh. Okay, we need Zealots more than anything. 18 SCV kills. Getting on top of the depots. Charge will start amassing. Storm is going to be okay here against some of the Hellions and Hellbats. They nibble away at the Cyclones. Oh, but Gerald's in a rough position. And where he wants to be. Massing up Void Rays. Interesting. Void Rays on Tempest. Storm on the tanks. Zealots, they're having a hard time engaged. Miscontrol there from Gerald. He does miscontrol. Gets on top of some of the tanks, but again, he took a lot of hits to the face. Across the map, he's cleaned up. But at this point, Moja's all in. Like, Gerald, he's on 80 probes. He just has to slow down, warp in more Zealots. How many gateways does he have? 8. Ooh. Soon to be 11. 11 gateways from Gerald. And now he comes in for a full surround. And he will clean this up. Yes, I'll say collapse of the army. They take down every single tank, and with that, GG gets called. Gerald, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG will play again, just really slow and steady there from Gerald, just buying some time, warping in more zealots, getting the full surround on Moja. And again, I'm a little bit surprised that Moja moved out when he did. He wasn't maxed. Moja, he wasn't maxed out. He was on 3 bases. He did go for the mass unsiege and the mass push. Unfortunately, he got scouted and he got punished for it. As he moved out, Elazer the natural. When that happened, I was like, okay, now's the moment where Moja can turn back around and defend, but he decided to go for the all-in. He committed to the all-in, and lastly just ran out of steam. This is where the large map that is Maganatha works against him, right? It takes so much longer to get across the map, to get within range of any bases and to apply any pressure, and throughout all of that, Gerald had more time to nibble away at the army, to get more warp-ins, and to defend. GG well played. With that, Gerald takes the lead, and now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Game 2 is going to be on Tokamak, another one of these larger maps, which means we might see mech again. No. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone down in the leading the series 1-0. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Zoun. We have the red Terran player with the red Terran himself. We have the German Terran. It is Moja. Again, Moja, he forced himself into an all-in last game, and he just tried to commit across the map. I do think that he had the option to just turtle and just do what mech does best and just slowly get a 4th base and then max out and turtle up, but chose not to. Chose not to go for that kind of style. Was more active instead. And we'll see how we'll approach Tokamak. Tokamak is a more defensive map. The bases are a little bit more centralized. They're close together. They're easier to rotate between and to defend, so this is where a player like Moja can be more successful when it comes to turtling up, but will he? That is the question. Because he did decide not to last game. For now, stay there opening. Gates have expand, and Moja going for a different opener this time, going for a single gas into a faster CC. So economic opener out of Moja this time. Remember, last game he went into a fast Cyclone, into fast Cloak Banshees, which didn't quite achieve too much damage. Again, we saw there were opportunities. True, there were opportunities for the Banshees, but Moja, he was playing a little bit more tentative, a little bit more safe, and he didn't get much done as a result. Here we go. So probably shut down. Behind this, we do have our factory on the way. So far, everything's looking normal for the time being. I say that once again, early tech lab. So it's still racked expand. So this is a later tech lab than last game, but tech lab nonetheless into add-on swap into once again early Cyclone. This can once again lead into a starport, into an add-on swap into Cloak Banshee. That is available here to Moja. He's getting here in a different way. Again, it's a later factory. It's a later setup. But still the same kind of end goal, end game. Dep does move in. The Cyclone is going to be later here, so that means more damage is going to be done. CC does complete, but mining should be denied. There we go. Does scouts. It does get eyes on the tech lab. Is aware of the Cyclone. And from here, has to get the hell out of here. This time, Gerald will not lose a unit. CC will eventually reposition. And do we keep the tech lab on the factory? We are. Okay, we're keeping it on the factory. So it is going to be a Widowmine. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Oh no! The Adept will confirm, will even delay. Not like this. Gets underneath the starport, and with that heavy delay here on the Banshee and scouts everything. Oh no. Yeah, the shade will delay as well. You cannot land on the shade. Finally, can land the building, can land the starports. And we're going into, oh, fake Cloak Banshee. Okay, Raven alongside Interference Matrix. I mean, this is delayed. It's possible that the initial plan was to go Cloak Banshee, but because of the delay, because of the scouts, has shifted gears. And Hallucination will confirm. Behind this, Gerald just taking a third base. Behind this, going 3-gate blink into a third standard opener here. A very safe opener out of Gerald. The same build he went for last game. Hallucination does confirm the research, but as we mentioned, this is a bit of a fake out. He has to confirm what comes out from the starport, and he won't be able to. It does not confirm the Raven. Now, in my mind, we're going to cancel Interference Matrix, but he might let it finish. It's a bit of an odd build nowadays. It's very out of meta. The reason for this is because it's not very common to go Colossus anymore. During the meta where we saw a lot more Robo-based openers and a lot more Colossus follow-ups as well, that is where this build and this kind of opener thrived. Oh, that's weird meching, Jesus. Sweet. As we're still getting to mech. Hallucination does get eyes on the Raven and also gets eyes on the factory. God damn it. Charge is on the way. With that robo, we should be working towards immortal production. Should be. So just break in. Stalker's a poke in. So far, Moja, he does hold on. Does defend. Behind this, working towards Archons, which is the ideal. Again, against mech, you do want charge lots, Stalkers, Archons as well, Immortals. Very robust ground army. Hallucination does poke in. And Hallucination will confirm. Does confirm all the factories, gets eyes on all the Ravens, sees everything. From here, Gerald just freely expanding, saturating, building up his own Immortals, working on his upgrades. We have +1 armor on the way. Again, that is to help provide or give the Zelts a little bit more sustain to be able to close that distance to get on top of the tanks. Moja just tries to sneak up on a Gerald. See in chat, is there a list of games Lat's going to cover tonight? No list, unfortunately, but we do have 5 best of 3s ready. Oh, catching out a couple Stalkers, nice lock-ons. I can go over it after this series. Go over the matches. We'll get there. We'll get there. Now though, Moja, he breaks out. He has yet to, my apologies, 3rd CC, getting a 3rd CC, there's no pushing. From here, he'll expand, and we'll see how aggressive he's going to be. We spoke about this last game, how Moja, he did go for the mass Sun Siege and mass move out as he took his 3rd. Was punished for it by Zella run by, but this time Gerald's not quite ready for that. This time Gerald is getting a 4th base, still getting his gateways up and running. I believe still in the low gateway counts. 8 gateways, not bad. So on 8 gates, claiming his 4th. Prism is on the way, and Gerald, he will soon be active on the map. Soon be active. Likewise, Moja establishing his own 3rd. And we'll see if Moja does decide to turtle in and max out. That's really what I'm looking for here. Is he going to just slowly throw down some sensor towers, some missile turrets, throw down a wall of depots, then get a 4th CC as well? Personally, I think that's the correct way to play on Tokamak. Like, I do think there's, it's going to be quite difficult for Gerald to break a turtling Terran on this map, especially a turtling meching Terran as well. But that's not what Moja did on Maganatha. So, we'll see. Gerald looking for a way in. Hopefully he doesn't face check. Hopefully. Prism into the main. Warprint will complete. Main army does push forward, but the tanks are sieged. Despite that, does get on top of the tanks. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks going to be going down. We get a storm, but yeah, we cannot engage. Gerald has to back the hell up. At the same time, Zelsa still wreaking havoc in the main. Not bad, getting a tank, getting Hellions. Tank to Hellions, 6 SCVs. Not bad damage here, but nothing major. Trades well. Gerald, he trades well. Behind this, getting full saturation at his 4th. And again, Moja, does he move out? He wants to. This time going for Liberator support. And he does go for the Mass on Siege. Okay, so just like last game, he's going for the Mass on Siege, Mass move out. He is not expanding, not getting a 4th base. He'll run into Gerald. Anti-armor missile does go off. Missile goes off. Moja will zone. Oh. He's slowly gaining ground. And a big shout out to Boomcool in the chat. God, Pappy God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 10 months, Pappy. Oh my God. Almost a year of support. Thank you, Pappy. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Thank you for the entertainment. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. As Moja, he's pushing in. Tanks are slowly gaining ground. We can see Gerald getting ready for the surround. But he doesn't really have the best answer here for the Liberators. He only has a handful of Stalkers. Does catch reinforcements, a tank, a Hellion. Does spot more Liberators. Uh-oh. More Liberators are on the way. But Gerald, he commits. Yeah, tanks on siege. Yeah, tanks on siege. Storm here on the main army. Zeltz didn't quite come in from behind. Nice storms though. Zeltz there. Oh, a little bit late, but they do catch Cyclones. Not bad. And 3 Cyclones go down. Nice catch from Gerald. And this army is getting smaller. And now he dives in. Does wing forward. He gets 1. He gets 2. He gets up to 3 Liberators. Barely gets all 4. It cleans up all 4 libs. Cleans up the entire army. He went down to 3 Stalkers, but he did have enough. And Moja lost everything. He lost everything. He did get a 4th CC behind this, but that was such a dedicated push from Moja. And once again, what did he achieve with that push? He traded with the army. He didn't kill a base. The 3rd was safe and sound. The 4th was safe and sound. The 5th base is up and running as well. The economy was untouched. And Moja's in danger. He's in danger. He's in danger. He's in trouble. Just now trying to expand, but he won't be able to. Yeah, he cannot hold on to the space. So he rotates. Storms will zone. Oh, God. Yeah, 11 SCV kills. Also, do hit the 3rd base at the same time. Just pulling Moja apart. Getting 16 SCVs, 17 SCVs. Deepers as well. Getting it. Oh God, these Zelts. I mean, Zelts, they're pretty crazy, especially against mech. Like Zelts, they're good against all things mech here, against Cyclones, against Hellions, against tanks, against SCVs. They're even more difficult to deal with. But if you had Bio, we just need more charge lots. Oh God. As he breaks through that defensive line, gets on top of the tanks, and that's the final tank going down. GG gets called, and Gerald, he will take the series 2-0. He will take down Moja. GG. GG. Gerald, he will claim it. A solid performance there by Gerald. I do think that Moja had some opportunities, both in Game 1 and in Game 2. Game 1, we spoke about the Cloak Banshee and how, unfortunately, he was just a little bit too tentative, a little bit too passive with them. He could have achieved a lot more damage. And likewise, just like in Game 1, here in Game 2, we saw Moja commit quite hard on 3 bases, but not really go for an all-in. He forced himself into an all-in, but he was still trying to expand behind it, and it felt a little bit awkward. It felt a little bit awkward, especially on these maps as well. Both on Magnatha and on Tokamak, the rush distance by ground is longer. It's more defendable as well. I would say it's easier on these 2 maps for Gerald to slow down Moja than it would be on Pylon or on Ultralove, for example, or even Leylines. Or in those maps, I would say that the map would be favoring, you know, the pushing power here of Moja a little bit more. So yeah, it was some rough pushes there. In the end, Gerald just shut him down. GG. GG well played. Impressive play there by Gerald. And that leads us into our next matchup. Now, someone was asking earlier what matches we're going to be covering here tonight. We're going to be covering Gerald versus Moja. We're going to be covering Gerald versus Zoun, Zoun versus Moja, Zoun versus uThermal, and Spirit versus Showtime. So 5 best of 3s in total, and we're getting into our second matchup. Let's go. Getting into our PvP here between Zoun and Gerald. Here we go. Game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go. As the girl that does open up is moving out. And here is moving out across the map. Zoun back at home, going for his own standard setup. We'll keep an eye on any kind of shenanigans in regards to proxy pylons. I mean, welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps of the map pool, a longer distance by ground, very large, a lot of places to hide proxies as well. And Zoun, he does skirt around the edge of the map. So far, 2-gate opener out of Zoun, likewise 2-gate opener out of Gerald. Zoun making his way towards one of the common proxy locations, right here outside of the gold, and he is going for it. Okay, now if you know anything about Zoun's PvP, you'll know that he is hyper aggressive. I think the best example of that, if you're watching GSL Season 2, and I do recommend the VODs because we did cast it, we did cast every single match in GSL, Zoun versus Hero, if you remember, Zoun did cannon rush Hero. he cannon rush Hero, and he all-in every single game. Like, without fail, Zoun, he did nothing but all-in. 1 base all-in, 2 base all-ins against Hero. Here, I expect something similar, as we do have our proxy, and we're expecting a robo once Cybercore is done. We could see a Stargate in this position. True, we could see a Stargate. But it's a robo. 1 base all-in. So 1 base all-in out of Zoun. So Zoun is committed. Checking Gerald's vision. He is aware that the pylon is missing, but he's locked in. He's going to be locked in. So limited scouting here from Gerald. He knows that there's a proxy. He knows that something is wrong. And it's on Gerald to find it. See Gerald scouting the right-hand side. Does check the right-hand side. Zoun going in for his own scout. Confirms that there's no proxy. Confirms the standard opener. He's going to be chased down. Behind this, he's building up. And we'll see where he takes us. So here we go, we have the Immortal on the way. Gerald, he has yet to fully confirm, but at this point he can assume. So back at home we have a shield battery in the mineral line. That's to defend against the Stargate. He's not fully aware. He's looking to expand. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. As Gerald, he is misreading this. So basically, he's preparing for a proxy Stargate when it's a proxy Robo. Immortal is amassing. Already moving out, catching out the first Stalker. Oh no! Yeah, it does catch him out. 1 Stalker goes down. Now going for the second. LFs, they block him in. Nice control there by Zoun. That's 2 Stalkers already falling. And Gerald's in trouble. He's in danger. He throws out his own robo. This is a late robo here by Gerald. Likewise, no shield batteries. Yeah, no shield batteries, no setup. This base should be denied. Prism has arrived as well. Tell micro back and to reinforce. Aye, aye, aye. Now, there are sentries, so Gerald, he can force field the ramp, but that's what the prism is for. So he can try to force out those force fields. Even just going for the gateways. It's cancellation. Let's cancel the Nexus. Gateway goes down. Gerald down to 1 gateway. He has 2 more on the way, getting 3 in total. Force fields there buying some time. Oh, the counter force field gets a sentry. Picks off a sentry. Zoun pushing in. That's a lot of adepts. Oh. Yeah, it does juggle over the wall, over the force field. Sentry goes down. Adepts, they commit to the shade. Probe's going to be falling. And Gerald, he's broken through. He's broken into the main. Ay. Boys are being pulled. Gerald's getting desperate. He's out of 3 stalkers. And he's pulling the boys into adepts as well. Ah, God. Yeah, it's not pretty here. Second Immortal moves in. And again, it was just a late realization from Gerald. It was a late scout, late reaction. He did misread the proxy. So he was just not ready for this. Gigamba, baby. Gigamba. It's the risk you take. And with that, Zoun does commit in. Takes out the final Immortal. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will overwhelm. Zoun, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, unfortunately, Gerald, he didn't scout the proxy, so he was working with very limited information. He went for a shield battery in the main base mineral line that is designed to defend against a proxy Stargate, and he was expanding, so he was convinced that it was not a proxy robo, or I say convinced, he was just taking a risk. He was taking a risk, taking a chance. He was hoping that it wouldn't be a proxy robo, but it was. Unfortunately, he had a delayed robo himself. He had no defensive shield batteries. He had no defensive setup. So it was just a really shaky defense there from Gerald, just because he was not fully aware of what was happening. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Persephone. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have our South Korean Protoss player. We have our red Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. Zero clean defense that works against both Robo or Stargate, aside from not expanding. There is, but the problem there is that for all Gerald knew, so a couple of things. Because he didn't scout the proxy, all he really knew was that there was a pylon missing. That he knew 100%. That he knew 100%. The pylon was missing, so there could be a Stargate, there could be a Robo, there could be a gateway, or there could be nothing. It could be a fake proxy pylon, which is also common in PvP. So you can go for a harder response and a more defensive response, which will keep you safe against a proxy Stargate and a Robo, but it sets you behind if it was a fake out and if Zoun expanded, right? Like that's the that's like the risk. The problem with that is, unfortunately, is right. For all Gerald knew, there could be a nexus on the way. Because if you remember, his probe got locked into the main and got sniped, so he couldn't check the natural either. So yeah, just a really rough setup there for Gerald. Otherwise, you could blindly go for a shield battery in the mineral line and blindly open Robo, or blindly open Stargates and stay on one base and delay your expansion. So like there is like a safer opener that you can go for, but again, then you get set behind if your opponent faked you out, right? And if they just expanded. So PvP can be very intense. Very intense, man. Very intense. For now, double gate, 2-gate opener. Pylons in the main base, pylon in the main for Gerald as well. This time, standard openers. Standard openers, it's going to be a economic setup here and a safe setup out of Zoun. And Gerald's going to be going for a more aggressive opener, double stalker. Double stalker here out of Gerald. There we see Zoun going for the pylon block. This pylon block will delay the expansion. We'll also get eyes on the first 2 units of choice, or at least typically will. We see Gerald keeping his stalkers back. Oh. And Zoun, he will miss the scout. He will not confirm the 2 stalkers. Does let it finish, and with that, he will lose the pylon. So there's a bit of a give and take here. Zoun, he will get away with a faster Nexus. Meanwhile, Gerald goes for a faster Stargate. So Stargate opener out of Gerald. This will be for an Oracle opener to harass across the map. Gerald, he will have a delayed expansion because of the pylon block, but it's going to be on the way, delayed by a couple of seconds. And we'll see what Gerald can get done. As he moves out, because of the Sentry opener, bam, Zoun scouts. Zoun is able to move out across the map, and he will get a full scout of the main, and Zoun, he will confirm the Stargate. So Zoun is aware. Zoun, he will soon be getting a shield battery in the main. Now, keeping up with the main army. Shield battery is done. Zoun being active on the right-hand side. Interesting. You have my attention. Oh, setting up a proxy. Okay. Zoun is setting up. There's that shield battery in the main base mineral line. Again, a shield battery does keep your economy safe from 1 oracle. It doesn't keep you safe from 2 oracles, but that's, you know, a problem for a minute from now. As the first oracle does head out across the map. Shield battery is going to be done in time as sentries are in position to defend. Hallucination will confirm the oracle. And Zoun knows. Zoun, he does rotate, trying to keep up. The oracle is zoned away. Pylon is done, and we're waiting for the gateway. As the Oracle does take a lot of damage, does take a lot of hits. Zoun throws down the proxy gateway, he moves out with everything he has. At the same time, we do have 2 Adepts threatening the natural. They do look to shade in. 2 Adepts taking 1-shot probes. Oracle into the main, going for the stasis. Stasis trap is on the way. Ooh, never mind. Is punished. He's shut down. Adepts are wreaking havoc. A lot of probes are falling. Nice damage here from Gerald, but at the same time, Zoun, he commits. Zoun, he doesn't care. He's pushing across the map. He's warping in. Zoun forcing himself all in. As he will lose 6 probes across the map. Like, this is good damage from Gerald, but can he survive? Can he defend? Goes back in. Stasis goes off. Zoun does have force fields. Blink is done in 10 seconds. Needs a little bit more time. And he can blink into the main. Oh, God. He can blink into the main. Gerald trying to set up. Throws down a second pylon. Shield battery as well. Dives in. Takes down the first stalker. Gets one. And gets 1 stalker. Zoun, he does blink down. Nice force fields. Locks down another 2. Another 2 stalkers. Wasting shield battery NG as well. Not bad. No losing a single unit so far. And Zoun is all in. Remember, no economy. There's nothing here at the natural. He was crippled. Oh. Shield batteries are running out of NG. Another stalker goes down. Once again, nice force fields. Isolating that sentry. Yeah, sentry falls and Gerald, he just can't engage. Yeah, so many stalkers just a little bit too far behind. He's pinned against the wall. Boys are being pulled. And Zoun just keeps warping in. He just keeps on going. More stalkers on the way. Blinks on forward. Oof. He can 2-shot. And Gerald, he's being overwhelmed. He's down to 4 stalkers, down to 3. 3 stalkers left, down to 2. And with that, he just does not have enough to survive this. Again, he did amazing damage earlier and still killing probes or still denying mining. But he just did not have enough. Zoun, he just committed, he just doubled down. A nice control out of Zoun as well. Zoun, he will kill everything. Yeah, the final stalker falls down to early probes. 1 stalker left, let's go. 1 stalker remaining, no. Goes down as well. And with that, Zoun is done. He has broken Gerald. Getting the final stalker. Gerald might bring his heart out. But there's nothing left. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will claim the series 2-0, taking down Gerald. GG. GG, well played. Again, Gerald, he was able to do some nice economic damage. Unfortunately, he just wasn't ready for that kind of defense. He wasn't, or at least it seemed like he wasn't really expecting Zoun to commit that hard to the counterattack, to just go for the all-in. Unfortunately, Gerald, he didn't scout the proxy on the right-hand side. So upon not knowing that there was a proxy, he didn't know how many gateways there really were for Zoun, and didn't realize that he could reinforce almost instantly across the map, as hard as he was. Defensively, we saw that Gerald, he was trying to get some shield batteries up and running. They were helping, they were giving him some time, but eventually he was overwhelmed, and he had just a really hard time fighting as well. It was really crucial that we saw Zoun using the SimCity against Gerald. I don't know if you remember, but because of the placement of the shield batteries, when Gerald was trying to fight, he could only attack with like 3 stalkers at a time. The rest of his stalkers were pinned behind the army and behind the shield batteries as well. So he was pushing into a concave. He wasn't really being able to make use of his entire army either. Again, the Nexus, the shield batteries, all the building placements were just working against Gerald, trying to defend and trying to hold his own. GG. GG, well played. Also really good force fields. That also helps, right? The force fields also did help when it came to just zoning back the army. And Zoun does take it. And with that, we're going to be following Zoun into his next matchup here. Again, Zoun coming in as one of the heavy hitters in the HomeStory Cup, but one of the few Koreans to travel. It was Zoun, Ryung, and Luna C that did travel to HomeStory Cup to Germany to compete and to take part. And Zoun now goes up against Moja in a PvT. Let's go. Do we see more mech? It's possible. It is possible. As game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Moja. We go, and again, we were featuring Moja earlier. He did play mech twice against Gerald, a very, I would say, aggressive form of mech. If you remember, despite the maps that we were loading into, despite Maganatha and Tokamak, despite those 2 maps being more favored towards more defensive and more macro play, Moja, he was going for these 3 base mech timings. 3 base timings with tanks, with Liberators, with Cyclones, of course, as well, being very aggressive, but time and time again, he was being shut down by Gerald. Gerald had a really good response, really nice counterattacks, really nice ability to spot the army, to slow it down, and to whittle away at Moja over time. We'll see if Moja will adjust his play against Zoun. We shall see. Again, mech against Protoss is a bit of a rarer sight nowadays. We do see some players are known for it, players like Ryung, players like Gumiho as well, of course. We've even seen Maru dabble a little bit with mech against Zerg and against Protoss, specifically Cyclone all-ins and Cyclone builds. But interesting to see that Moja, he's also one player to also embrace that. As for now, economic opening. Single gas racks expand here by Moja. We've seen him time and time again go Reaper into Tech Lab, so we'll see if that happens here as well. There would be a sign of early Cyclone. Oh, doesn't go for the Tech Lab, okay. You got my attention. Reaper into Marine, into Factory. No fast Tech Lab, no fast Cyclone. Okay. As the Reaper does move out. Behind the standard opener out of Zoun. Reaper does attempt to poke in. Safety bunker out of Moja. Reaper does poke in. Pokes into the main base, gets eyes on the tech, gets eyes on the Twilight Council, so not bad scouts. As Moja is cleaned up, but does get eyes on the Twilight Council. So Moja is aware, hallucination goes in, does confirm the 111, does confirm the lack of early add-ons. as Moja's been a little bit more economic here. Just getting his natural, building up his bio, or just a handful of Marines. And it's going to be on Zoun to confirm, is there going to be an add-on swap or not, or do we go into early Cyclone, into early Widow Mines? We're going for the swap. We're going for Banshees. Let's go. Add-on swap is upon us, and Zoun, he should confirm with the second hallucination. Yeah, Zoun moves out, and there it is, Cloak Banshee. Ideally, this is hidden. Unfortunately, Zoun will see everything. Yeah, it does spot the research, is fully aware of what's coming his way. Behind this third, oh my god, third CC! Very greedy here by Moja. Getting into his third CC. Meanwhile, big shout out to Holy Lime 23 in the chat. God, happy God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 29 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Este Holy Lime. First Quacker still broken. Cab. But thank you, Holy Lime. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate the support. As we do have our Banshees moving out. Behind this Zoun, he does have his Robo on the way for eventual detection. Stalkers are being active. Ideally, he catches out the Banshee, but he does barely miss it. You can see he's in position to intercept if the Banshee were to head straight across the map. But Moja, he does rotate or does deviate. Does avoid those Stalkers. Blink is done. We could dive into the main. He's going for it. Does go for the dive. Will disrupt the production. And it delays the Raxes. No mech. Okay. No mech. At the same time, ooh, Banshee's deflecting the main. And SCVs are going down. 4 or 5 SCV kills. Can we get 6? Can we get 7? Can we get 8? Oh, good. He can. 8. 9 workers going to be falling. Can we get up to 10? Rotates down to the low ground. 10 workers. He's going for mules. GG gets called. 11 SCV kills the Banshee. Does nothing across the map. And Zoun, he will snowball into a win. GG. Aye. Again, Zoun back at home. He had his Stalkers and Sentry, the Shield Battery. The Banshees did nothing across the map despite investing so hard. And of course, detection was also available as well. GG. Zoun all over Moja here in game 1. Does get all over him, and I was a little bit surprised to see Moja not going to mech this time. He was playing bio, he was trying to play bio, I should say, but that was brutal damage, losing so many SCVs and achieving no damage as well. Was a really rough start there for Moja, and with that we're getting into game 2, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping that we can sink our teeth into this and see a little bit more out of our two players, but the pressure is on Pressure is on, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the German Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team 8 Rax. It is Moja. And yo, a big shout out to Hero to 00811 in the chat. Thank you so much for also subscribing to Twitch Prime for 6 months. For 6 months on a 6-month win streak. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much. Hope you appreciate the casting, the content, and the StarCraft. Thank you. As again, we are going over the HomeStory Cup 27 group stage replays, the replays of the games that we didn't cast live, that we weren't able to cover as we were covering other matches at HomeStory Cup at the time. We're here catching up on Group C. And Moja does open up with an eBay block. Let's go. Does open up with the block. Just no leaderboard. Oh, I see. Smurge. Yes, I believe currently we do that manually. Kira, I think every month does post the first Quackers. I believe she has a spreadsheet which tracks everything. Yeah, currently done a little bit more manually. For now, though, we do have Zoun going for his expansion. Now, because of the eBay block, if you recall, Zoun is forced to take the unnatural natural. So Zoun is going to be a little bit more exposed. From here, Moja has the opportunity to go into a factory, but he goes CC. He had the opportunity to, instead of going for the CC, he could go for an early factory into Reactor, into Add-on Swap, into Reactor to Hellion, to try to poke in between the main base and the natural and try to harass and try to roast up some probes. Here we can see Moja going for an economic opener into a second Rax. Okay. So this looks like a 3-Rax. It looks like a 3-Rax stim timing out of Moja. This is a little bit old school. This was very popular and this was very meta a couple of years ago. If you remember Side Delta, that was like in the 2022 map pool. It's been a while, but there was an era in StarCraft where this was all the craze. Oh my god, never mind. That is not a 3cc. Sorry, that's not a 3-Rax. That's going to be a 2-Rax, into a third CC. Ay, very greedy build here by Moja. This is the Bjorn build. But even then, Bjorn, I think he goes for a third Rax and then a third CC. I think even Bjorn isn't this greedy. But Bjorn, he also does a similar build to this on specific maps. Fun fact, he also used to do this build on Side Delta. True. Everything was on Side Delta back in the day. But yeah, Bjorn, there's a build similar to this that he does do himself, which also does coincide with a third Rax. So we should be seeing a third Rax here. Very greedy build here by Moja. Zoun moves in, Zoun scouts, Zoun confirms, and now it's on Zoun to punish. Oh boy. So really fast scout here from Zoun. This is also one of the reasons why this build isn't really seen too often. How do you punish this? 4-gate blink. We'll see how many gateways we throw down. There's 3 so far, and we'll see if we go up to 4. Now, the reason why 4-gate blink Stalker can punish this is because of the fact that there's no factory. There's no tanks, more importantly, so the defensive setup here on 2 bases is that much weaker. And Stalkers, they can bully. Yeah, they can just bully this here. Even with Sim. So Moja's being so greedy. There's that third Rax on the way. Robo's being thrown down. We'll keep an eye on Zoun. Still just nibbling, just picking away at these Marines. Gets another no safety bunker. Oh, I mean, we're cutting corners. Even with this build, you can afford a bunker on the low ground just to be secure, but the Stalkers, they bypass the main army. They just walk into the main. They pick off more Marines. One of them finally goes down. One Stalker, I should say. One Stalker falls. Blink is almost done. And it looks like Zoun is going for 3-gate blink into a third, but a Robo first. And this can coincide with a Prism to move out across the map. Like Zoun, he already achieved so much damage. He got 5 Marines, he got an SCV, he got a Reaper. And he can keep pushing. He can keep going. And again, Moja's just been so incredibly greedy here. Stalkers are moving out. Moja, he does sneak out across the map. And remember, there's no safety bunker, so there's nothing. There's just nothing here. Oh god. Terran players, look away, Papi. Look, there is no way to defend. There's 3 Marines and 1 Marauder. Stalkers move in, they get free damage. We're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade here. There's the first stim. True, Stim will help. Stim does zone away, and Moja is going straight for the third. We do see Zoun someone in position. The Sentry does fall. Shield Battery's in position as well. Oh god. And Marines are being cleaned up. Does go for the mineral line. Okay. Gets 4 probes. 3 probes go down. That was 3 probes for... Hold on. There we go. 3 probes for 12 Marines. 12, now 13 Marines, and remember there's no bunker. Remember, he never got the bunker. Never did finish. Zoun is moving out. Moja bleeding out so much supply here. Using 15 Marines in total and 1 Marauder. Marauder's being targeted down. He gets 1. He gets up to 3. Oh, bunker does complete. And from here, we just ignore the bunker. Here, we just ignore it. We go straight into the main. Sniping Marauders. Another Marauder goes down. And it's just getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. Again, it was a cheeky build here by Moja, but Zoun, scouted it immediately and he was able to punish. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take the series 2-0, taking down Moja. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Zoun, he will claim the series. This was a build that was a little bit more prevalent back in the day before the change to the Sentry, where I say change to the Sentry, before the change to Energy Overcharge, allowing for faster scouting, more consistent scouting out of Protoss, to be able to confirm something like this and to be able to punish it as well. And again, we saw as soon as Zoun spotted the build of choice, spotted the third TC, he was so aggressive and so active with the Stalkers. Even early on, before this, remember with two Stalkers, he was able to pick off like 3 Marines, an SCV, a Reaper, like he was able to achieve damage even before that as well. Just recognizing how vulnerable Moja would be. And with that, Moja, he was punished. Again, it was a cheeky build, and I appreciate the creativity or the versatility here of Moja, but was unable to get away with it. Able to get away with it, and with that, Zoun will claim the series, and with that, we're getting into our next best of. Go. As up next, we have our final series of Group C. That is going to be Zoun versus uThermal. Let's go, baby, let's go. uThermal, he was looking very impressive over the weekend at HomeStory Cup. If you missed the VODs, I highly recommend tuning in. We were lucky enough to cast uThermal during the group stage and during the playoff bracket as well, so I do recommend it. And I was most impressed by uThermal in his TVP. If you were watching the stream at the time over the weekend, I do recommend, or if you missed it, I do recommend watching uThermal versus Gerald. uThermal versus Gerald was insane. Like, I was so impressed by uThermal in that series, and even a little bit of uThermal versus SOS as well. So I do recommend it as we are jumping into our first matchup. Here we go. Oh, actually, hold on. Un momento. Am I crazy? Before that, we're going to be going in a short break. Here. As we have 2 matches left, we have Zoun versus uThermal, and we have Spirit versus Showtime. So we have 2 matches left, 2 best 3s remaining, so we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we will have the rest of the broadcast. See you soon after the break. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we returned. We returned with our finale here of the broadcast. My apologies, I was going to be covering Zoun versus uThermal, and I don't know if you caught that, but before we went on a break, I was like, hold on, am I crazy? Because I was like, if you recall, I was referring to uThermal's TVP, and I was like, no, yeah, it was really impressive against Gerald, it was really impressive against SOS, and I was about to say it was really impressive against Zoun, and I was like, hold on. I've seen these games, haven't I? it was a series we already casted, so my apologies. But yes, uThermal versus Zoun, we already casted that series live at the time over the weekend. It did hit me as I was speaking on it. I was like, actually, we've covered this match before. So with that, we have concluded our coverage, and every single series in Group C has now been casted, but we do have a match to cover in Group B. For Group B, it was a little bit different. For Group B, we actually were able to cover our matches and then cover extra matches as well. So there's less matches in Group B that didn't get casted. There's only one left. Only one left, a matchup between Spirit and Showtime, a best of 3. Let's go. Let us go here. Again, Spirit and Showtime, they were pinned as the number 1 and number 2 seed of Group B. And we are jumping into that Terran versus Protoss matchup. Let's go. And so far, the matches have been pretty fast, not gonna lie. We've had a lot of all-ins. We've seen a lot of all-ins, a lot of aggressive builds. We did see some 3-base play between Moja and Gerald, but Moja was very committed and very aggressive, and very all-in with his play. But here we go, we're getting into our fresh best of 3, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is a Showtime. And a big shout out as well to Blake who's in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thanks so much for the donation. Again, we don't often get donations in the chats. We don't really like advertise like a big donation goal or anything like that. So that's something that we might change in the future, but something that we don't quite have, so we don't really get many of. But thank you so much for the $20 donation. For the tip, thank you. We do appreciate it, as always. Hello, Spirit. As Spirit, he does move out across the map real fast and real quick, and he's moving in for the eBay block. Does barely avoid that probe, and we'll set up on the low ground. And we just saw this dynamic earlier between Moja and Zoun, where if this is scouted too late, you can force the Protoss to expand elsewhere at the 3rd location. So you can force a bit of a more uncomfortable start out of Showtime, depending on when this is seen. And it looks like, yeah, there's going to be plenty of progression on the eBay with that. Showtime later scouts on the low ground, a later realization of what's been happening, and is forced to expand elsewhere. So nice start out of Spirit. Behind this, just going, he has the option to go for a factory or go for the CC, and he's going for the command center. Is on low. Oh, at least he's trying to go for the CC. Showtime is here to block. Not bad. Again, Showtime to expand at the unnatural natural. Probe is going to be zoned away, and Spirit can now throw down the command center. So economic follow-up here out of Spirit, going for the reactor on said racks. Is building up. And again, because of this position, you can try to abuse the Protoss player and try to harass the natural, harass the main base, pull them apart left and right. But as we mentioned, at this time it is going to be a faster command center, not a faster factory, so it's going to be a bit of a delayed response. And we do see Spirit is in fact going for the factory. If you recall, Moja in this position, he was crazy, going for a 2nd racks into a 3rd CC. So much more standard follow-up here out of Spirit. Much more standard. Safety bunker on the low ground. Let's go. Is being safe. Bunker is on the way. Adapter does move out. And the Adapter is here to delay the CC. We'll be up to 3 Marines. And I start stepping. Adapter is zoned away. And Spirit holds. Oh! It's a little bit more damage. No hull damage though, just shields. Bunker does complete. Shade is denied. So far, Spirit is holding on. Behind this, we have a 1-1-1 setup. Factory into Starport. Showtime going for his tech of choice, going for a blink-based opener, going for a Twilight Council. So far, everything looking as it should. So far, Everything looking solid. Here we're calming down. That is going to be an earlier Robo here from Showtime. Interesting. It does have a 3-gate setup here, so 3-gate blink, a Robo a little bit earlier. Is a safer start here from Showtime. Hellion does get eyes on the Robo. Does pull away. Ooh, it's going to be shut down. It's going to be cleaned up. You have a 3-1-1 setup here out of Spirit. Everything looking as it should. So far, so good. eBay's on the way. Now I say that, curious to see if we do go for an add-on swap or if we commit to something more tech-heavy here. Tech labs are on the way. Okay, add-on swap, okay. That's curious. We're going for the add-on swap, working towards earlier stim than usual. As stim is being prioritized even before the first tank. Wait, are we add-on swapping again? Okay. Bold move, yeah, here we go. Okay, very, very heavy here. Spirit, 0 tanks. 0 tanks to defend, which means Stalkers, they can bully Spirit. He can and will be bullied. Showtime is moving in, and Spirit's in danger here. He has the bunker at least. But without tanks, Spirit, he's very vulnerable. Warpins are completing. Showtime claiming his 3rd. And he can dive into the main. He can potentially even deny some upgrades. It does blink in. It does confirm no add-ons here on the factory. Boys are being pulled. SCV is going to be going down. So far, nice control here from Showtime. Will bleed out 1 Adept. Does lose Adept. 4 SCV kills. Nice mining time. Can always blink back in. Gets another Marine. Across the map, Mind Drop comes in. Oh. Doesn't get anything. Ooh. Yeah, nice defense there by Showtime. Moves into the main. Doesn't lose anything yet. Ooh, we'll bleed out 1 Stalker. 2 Stalkers, okay. 2 Stalkers go down. A nice defense here from Spirit. He does punish. And Spirit holds. He does hold on. There's potential there for Showtime to get a little bit more damage. Doesn't achieve too much, but here come the Stalker reinforcements. And I don't see Spirit getting out of this. Breaking out, I mean. He's gonna try to, but there are so many Stalkers. And Showtime is getting ready for the backstab. Medevac does load up. Does move out. Is spotted by the army, who surrounds who. Showtime responds. He does shut down the Medevac. Medevac goes down. Marauders as well. Spirit does stim in. Showtime has to get the hell out of here. He does pull away at the same time. Loading up. Spirit getting a 3rd CC. Showtime does pull away. Turrets will not deflect. Oh, will actually. Spirit, he's ready. And we're calming down. We're calming down. Showtime from Blink Stalkers going into +1 in charge. Charge on the way. Immortal Production as well. Going for a gateway heavy composition. Prism is pinned down. Showtime going to try to break out that Prism. Takes down the Marines. And the Marauders. He's going to get caught out though. Oh! Gets 1. Gets 1 Stalker. Is forced to recall and does make it back in time. Does escape. At the same time, Zel's into the main. Spirit, he's also in position. He will defend. And we just recall the Prism. It's going to be hunted down. There's no escaping this. Massive pig up. Prism full. Zel's as well. Spirit, he defends well. He defends well. You're back at home. Claiming his 3rd. Showtime behind this, working towards Colossus production, not towards Storm. See what Showtime can get done. Spirit moves out. Showtime does hit the 3rd. Spirit out of position. SCVs are going down, getting 4 so far. Spirit, he keeps up. Not bad. Catching out a handful of zealots. As another zealot goes back in. And coming into this, there is a window in time where Showtime is a little bit vulnerable, but that window is closing with the Colossus, right? The Colossus are on the way. Showtime will soon have splash damage. We can see Ghost Academy here for Spirit. And he does have a Viking, making two at a time. Slowly building up his Viking count. He hasn't seen too much, but he's about to. He does move forward, does run into the Colossus. And we'll see if he can break through, getting on top of the fourth base. Mind shot going up. Wouldn't mind drop here into the natural. Showtime, he does react in time. Oh no! Oh, the mind shot. Ooh, gets one. Gets only one probe. Okay. Not bad. Only gets the one. Showtime, he does hold on, does clean up the Widow Mines. Spirit going to be forced back. And again, he's just building up his army, building up his Viking count, getting into Ghost production. Spirit, he's holding his own. So far, there aren't that many. I was going to say there aren't that many Vikings. With 4 Vikings, he does have a decent amount. The Observer does confirm. And Showtime, he should not push in. He should not push up into this army. He's getting ready for a run by. Going to try to cause a distraction. Second robo is on the way. So this confirms. I was waiting to see if we were going to go into Storm. But with a second robo, it looks like Showtime is going towards Disruptors. So double robo Disruptor production. Showtime is getting there. Zealot run by is ready. Ooh, we get spotted. Zealots are spotted. Spirit does respond. So far as keeping up. And we're maxing out. I was gonna say, we're heading into a longer game state. We're maxing out here. Spirit, he's at 200 supply. This is where I would want Spirit to be a little bit more active. Like, he's maxed out, he's building up his bank. Ideally, you do want to be trading, dropping across the map. But so far, he's staying back home. Showtime likewise building up as well. Oh, does with the drop, does shut it down. Nice cleanup. Shuts down the drop. Same time, Zealot run by Hero Zealot drop into the natural. War Prism into the main. And Showtime, he's trading well for himself. Catching reinforcements, going for the Academy actually. Okay. The Academy's being targeted. Spirit, he races back home, he's maxed out so he has no reinforcements, and the Academy goes down. A massive big up here for Showtime. Likewise does rotate here into the bases. Going for +2. And it will barely not snipe it. +2 will survive. Prism forced to recall. Showtime rotating over. Spirit does spot the rotation. Ooh, the Vikings do punish. Who else is taking a lot of damage? But the force shields are brutal. And Nova's going up. For the Vikings, they do catch out a Colossus. They get 1, they get 2. Not bad. 1, 2, or 3 Colossus are going to be going down. And massive eagles here from the Vikings. Showtime, he has to get the hell out of here. Prism goes down as well. And now there's no splash damage. Now there's nothing here, only disruptors. Going back into Colossus. Colossus are on the way. Better fight for Spirits. I do wish they kept pushing though. I know it's difficult to move into disruptors, of course. But it's mainly a Zealot army. Spirit has potential. Never goes off. There's one over left. Oh, that is going to slow him down, though. Yeah, rebuilds the academy. Now going for the fusion core. Working towards the liberators. Spirit, he's getting there. Dynamic goes down. Spirit, he's being active. Just trying to move in. Still has no room for liberators. That's a lot of zealots. That's a lot of charge lots. Showtime looking for a way in as well. Vikings they zone away. As the Colossus are getting very low. They don't quite get them. And more Stalkers warping in. Marauder goes down. Showtime he defends his bases, but he will lose one Colossus. There's one left. And likewise it should go down. There's a key comes the second volley. Nice force wheels though. Very nice. And that's a lot of Marauders that Ghost as well. Massive pickups. Spirit losing far too much, and he has to get out of here. He has to pull away. Showtime takes a better fight. Still somehow keeps the Colossus alive. Yeah, and Spirit, he will just take... it was just a really rough fight for Spirit. He's trying to hold on. He's holding his own. Likewise, Showtime just mass expanding. At this point, he has map control. He's just bullying back Spirits, taking every base on the map. As the main fight occurs, Showtime he goes for the run by. Yeah, heads into the mineral lines. SCVs are going down. Spirit just being torn apart. Even losing Ghosts as well. Ghosts are falling. 8 more SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. And again, Spirit, he was late to transition into Liberators. He's not quite there. Just now getting there, but... Again, Liberators, they do change kind of the pace of the game. They do allow for Spirit to have a stronger foothold, whether he's attacking, whether he's defending. It typically forces out Skytos out of the Protoss, or forces a more heavy Stalker composition. But Spirit, he's just now getting there. Oh, that was going off. Oh, Jesus. Showtime a little bit trigger happy. That's all the Novas. Did panic. So this will be another strong moment here for Spirits, where the Novas they're all on cooldown. Now would be his time. Likewise, just a really low Stalker count as well. Oh, this guy back. Last instructor are getting ready. He's got 4 Novas. Spirit has to retreat. Liberator has been trading well for itself. Showtime, he will be bleeding out these Colossus. Okay. Yeah, Vikings are coming from behind. Nice catch here from Spirit. Takes out all the Colossus. And he will punish. Again, the Novas were a little bit lackluster. Showtime did overextend. But Showtime has a bank. That's what's terrifying here. He can afford it. He's got 84 probes. Has all these bases. Storm is now on the way. And claiming this space is so difficult on this map if you don't have map control. Specifically, whether it's Tempest, whether it's Colossus, you can abuse this location. We'll see what Showtime's able to achieve. Does drop. Distracting Showtime. At the same time, I mean, we spoke about this center expansion, how exposed it is. Spirit likewise does attempt to punish. Oh, never mind. Never mind. The CC's exposed. It's going to be killed. Spirit out of position. And Showtime, do we just push into the bases? He could. Spirit is racing back. Another CC's going to go down. The wall is being broken. Cells are trickling in. Vikings are behind. Colossus, they are going to go down. Gets one. Novas don't quite connect. Likewise, probes are falling. Liberator also popping up. On both sides. Not bad. Spirit Key holds. He's holding on back. He's getting breathing room, collapsing on the main army, but oh, doesn't quite catch a Colossus. I will say the Liberator count's still a little bit too low. He's got 5 Liberators, but half of them are harassing. Not quite with the main army. Does find an expansion. Not bad. Showtime getting caught out. Bases are going to fall at the same time. Showtime going for the counterattack instead. Knocking down the planetary. Planetary goes down. Spirit, he turns back around. Does turn around. Spirit actually with a greater gas bank. Takes down the Nexus. Going for another as well. Yo, can he get both? Not quite. As Zealot reinforcements will defend. Medevacs getting sniped. So many Medevacs. And Showtime, he's not slowing down. He can keep going. He can and will keep pushing. Nova goes off. Does give him breathing room. Another Nova as well. Another Storm. Oof. Storms are connecting. Vikings getting low. The base goes down. And Spirit is going to lose everything. It will lose everything here. Losing the entire army. Oh god. Colossus bugging out. It's going to be 14 SCVs. And that was the bank. That was the economy. Spirit, he lost the center expansion, lost the center base, and the southern base as well. He lost all his bases. He's down to 50 SCVs. Showtime still has a bank. Showtime still has plenty of expansions. Doesn't have many probes, true, but he's replenishing that. He's rebuilding his workers. Showtime, he rotates once again. This is the most important mining base for Spirit. Aims about to lose it. It's about to go down. He can't save it. Not like this. And Spirit, he's starving out. He's broke. Going for the mine drop. Doesn't get much. Zealot might deny his mining. Spirit trying to double expand. And Spirit, he's just running out of steam here. He's just running out of money. Nova's going off. Brutal connections. Cell safe deny the expansion. And even here, these are maybe more efficient fights here from Spirit, but he's just losing too much. Losing far too much. Losing Ghosts and Marauders he can't afford to lose. Oh, it's a Disruptor. And not bad. Like, again, this is a nice fight here for Spirit. Does get another base up and running. Showtime has to calm down. Losing an expansion. What am I being dealt with? Collapsing in the main army. Storms are available. And he's moving in. Storm does Zoun. Oof, takes down the Widow Mines. Nice EMP. Very nice EMP on the High Templar. But the Colossus is still just wreaking havoc. And their reinforcements just in time. And Shadow, he takes the fight. He takes the fight, hunts him down. Medevacs, they barely get away. And again, I'm impressed with Spirit. He's trying to hold on. He's double expanding, getting a semblance of an economy. I think that's a natural. No, not quite. Yeah, natural main. They've yet to float over. But there's only so much that Spirit can do. Like, he's just limited here in his own economy. So, I mean, what you see is what you get. CC goes down. We have Dark Templar forcing out scans. Spirit, he just muled. Thankfully, there was a turret. Another DT towards the south side. More Dark Templar. Spirit out of position. He can't afford to lose his base. Storm is coming in. Not the best Storm. Mainly zones, but still takes down the expansion. And Spirit, he's down to 3 patches. We have 3 patches here at the 4th. There's 2 patches here at the 3rd. Nothing in the natural, nothing in the main. It's almost nothing left. Now we come in for the surround. Get some decent mine connections. It's also very low. For the Warprints, they continue. And there's no way out of this. There's no medevacs. There's no escape. The ghost will survive. There's no detection. Never mind. Observer does make it in. GG gets called. And Showtime, he will overwhelm. He will take game number 1. GG. A very intense game 1 here, very intense, very back and forth. Spirit, honestly, he had his own strong moments in this game as well. I do think there were times where Spirit would, especially in the first half of the game, where he was winning some fights, winning some engagements, but wasn't really pressing his advantage. He was just backing you off and just securing his economy instead of moving out and trying to punish Showtime and trying to catch out more units. With that, Showtime, he got away with preserving his army, he got away with map control, and with that, just mass expanded, took every base on the map. And even though he was losing a couple of probes here and there, even though he was losing some bases every now and then, he could still maintain himself. Spirit could not. Spirit, he could not. GG well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. With that, Showtime takes the lead, and we'll see if he can claim the series. We'll see if Spirit can bounce back. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is Showtime. I miss Team Big. I miss it. I miss it. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. Almost by habit, I almost introduced Showtime as being on Berlin International Gaming. Feels big, man. Feels big. But now though, welcome to Persephone. Persephone is a, so I want to say smaller map. Has a shorter rush distance by ground, is a more direct rush distance as well. But what I will say is that it's quite common, it's quite often that we do see a split map scenario. We've seen many a time on Persephone. If the game goes on longer, if we get up to a 4-base economy, then we can just cut the map in half and get a 5th base, go for the gold if at all possible, and just slow this game down to a crawl and embrace a longer macro game. We could end up there with these 2 players, with Showtime and Spirit specifically. We'll see. Now, I will say that just because of how centralized all of these bases are, I would say it's difficult here to try to go for the same hidden run tactics that Showtime was going for in the last game. If Spirit is able to expand and take his corner of the map, then it can be quite difficult to go for these zealot round buys and counterattacks and drop play, just because the bases are closer together. They're a lot closer, it's easier to rotate between them. There are some exceptions, like this base on the left-hand side or the goal base as well. There are definitely these fringe bases, but you can always save them for later. And it's more difficult for Showtime to expand and to take Spirit's bases, unlike on ley lines, for example. I don't see a world where Showtime can take this base, for example, the left-hand expansion, or the base on the right-hand side, or the center-right base either. These, for the most part, they belong to Spirit, and he can always take them whenever he so chooses, even after some of the other bases mine out. So it's a bit of a more unique map in that respect. very much so cut in half right down the middle if we can get there. For now, we do have our standard opener. Just racks expand into factory starports. Likewise, once again, Twilight Council opener out of Showtime, opening up Blink, just like last game. Now, last game we saw 3-gate Blink, sorry, it was a 2-gate Blink into a Robo, into a 3rd gateway, into a 3rd base for Showtime. A very safe opener in game 1. We'll see if he does the same in game 2. As this time, straight up 3-gate, okay. He has his 3-gate setup. Hallucination pokes in. And gets eyes on the drop play. And confirms Widow Mines. Does confirm it's going to be a Widow Mine drop. Tech Lab is thrown down. Now, last game, Spirit, he went into a 3-rack setup with, and he just didn't make a single tank last game. He rushed into Stim, he rushed into Combat Shields. It was a really bio-heavy style, which Showtime was able to slow down. He was able to slow it down, able to abuse. So Spirit, he kind of missed the timing he was going for. Meanwhile, we are keeping the Tech Lab on the tank. Oh. And I believe, sorry, we're keeping the Tech Lab on the factory for tank production. I believe Showtime did not confirm this. So this time, really early tank production here by Spirit. Mine drop is moving in. Oh. Showtime is ready. I'll shut down the Widow Mine. It's going to be a Robo after the 3rd base. And Spirit looks like he's committing on 2 bases. What do we see here? We see not just early tank production, but early and committed Cloak Banshee. Now, this could just be Cloak Banshee harass, or we could actually bring this all together and go for one big 2-base push with tanks and Banshees alongside them. Regardless, very tech-heavy, very committed play here by Spirits. In doing so, this does mean that we have a heavy delay on Stim, because the Tech Labs are on the factory and on the starport. So again, just a heavy tank count, and we can push out with like 3 or 4 tanks. It's gonna hit quite hard. Stalkers, they poke in. They poke forward. Tanks are spotted. And also Scout's Cloak, true. Speaking of, oh, the Banshee's taking a lot of hits already. Cloak is not done. Yeah, Cloak just now finishing. A bit of an anti-timing there from Spirit. Good orange job comes back in, is going to be cleaned up. And do we have an Observer? We do. An Observer is back at home. Spirit, he's pushing. As we mentioned, again, this is committed on 2 bases. Spirit, he tries to break out. The boys are being pulled, and it's all or nothing for Spirit. The Banshees, they come together as well. The Observer is back at home. Snipes the Stalker, not bad. No, let's making use of the healing pad, picking off a couple of SCVs. Swords have to get the hell out of here. Another Stalker goes down. Metamech is dealt with. Again, it's all or nothing with Spirit trying to wedge himself in between the bases. Charge is almost done. 10 more seconds. Oh, the tanks are exposed. They get caught on siege. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. He gets 1. He gets on top of another. That's 2 tanks falling. And the Marines are cleaned up. Remember, there's no stim. There's no stim. The final tank goes down. And there's nothing left. There's nothing here. The Banshees, oh, never mind. They hold their own. The Banshees do survive, but only the Banshees. It's Showtime trying to hunt him down. And Spirit lost everything. I'm afraid to look here. That was 3 tanks, 10 Marines, SCVs as well throughout the course of that. Spirit was dedicated, catching up more Banshees. And this is looking bleak here for Spirit. Oh god, losing everything. Remember, Stim was heavily delayed in favor of that push. He's not really ready for the mid game. Oh, he wants to tank. Yeah, he's going in. Oh, never mind. Doesn't go for it. I mean, hey, there's 3 tanks behind. Jesus. There's 3 tanks behind this. Spirit, he's turtling up as hard as he can, but he has no pushing power. He has no medevacs. He has no way to drop, for example, no way to move out. He's stuck at home. and with that, Showtime expands. You could argue this is a late 4th base for Showtime, but he only just now realized that his opponent was turtling. So 4th base, from here we can just take all of our gases, get a second Robo, Colossus are on the way, second Forge for upgrades. Like Showtime, he can do as he so pleases. The one thing that can threaten Showtime is if there was another Banshee, but oh, there is one. There's one. Speaking of, oh, never mind. I was gonna say the only thing that can threaten him is another Banshee, but Showtime is in position. Prism into the main. SCVs are going down. Late reaction here by Spirits. Oof. Late reaction. 6-7 SCVs. Remember, Spirit is turtling. He should not be losing workers like this. Now taking it to Ghost. Academy's on the way. 4th base getting up and running. There's that second Forge for 1-1 upgrades, or for 1-2 upgrades. And Spirit heal. Oh, Jesus. Okay. It's a fake third. Catching me off guard. So Spirit, he did get a 3rd CC, but now we pull the boys. Fake 3rd base out of Spirits. It's all or nothing. Send it, Pappy. Send it. There's no macroing out of this. Not anymore. We pull the boys. Nice force fields, though. Force fields, they do slice up the army. They do make it awkward to engage. There's a lot of Marines going down. Ooh, a couple of SCs do overextend. Catching out the Banshee. So far, Showtime doing a great job engaging ahead of time. He's out of force fields. He's running out. Spirit pushing out, 4 tanks behind this. And he's so close to pushing into the bases. He's just outside. Hedging ever closer. Remember, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Showtime. He's moving in, coming in for the surround. He has Zealous from behind. They get on top of the tanks, they get on top of one. And one tank goes down, he gets a second. Gets a second tank, getting on top of the third. He's running out of bio. Yeah, running out of Marines. The final tank goes down. No tanks left. Does go for the dive. But the Colossus does survive here. Barely doesn't get the pylon. And Showtime holds. Yeah, Showtime, he barely holds on. He's got 2 Colossus, a handful of Zealots. And it's barely enough. Oh my god. I say that's still quite close. Still very close here. Very clutch. But remember, that was how many? That was 17 SCVs being thrown away. Double jump into the main. Now there are Stalkers. And that was everything the Spirit had. He's down to 25 workers. He has some mules, I suppose. He's got a couple of mules available. Takes down the Cybercore. But now Showtime has 3 Colossus. A 4th one is on the way. Getting up to 4 Colossus. And GG gets called. Spirit had nothing left, and Showtime will claim the series 2-0, taking down Spirit. GG. GG, well played. Impressive play there by Showtime to be able to, despite containing his opponent, despite having a stronger start and shutting down the Cloak Banshee and shutting down the early tank push, Spirit, he tried to catch Showtime off guard. If Showtime was even greedier, like I was even suggesting, to be able to get a second Robo and to maybe cut some more corners, then that could have been successful. That could have broken through. Showtime, he was being greedy in a sense. He did get a second Forge, did get a 4th base, but he didn't go that extra step, didn't go that extra mile, didn't overinvest into his production. He was thankfully also active outside of the expansion, outside the bases of Spirit. So when Spirit pulled the boys, Showtime was already there to see that, to slow him down, to engage ahead of time, to force field the army, to pick away at the Marines, to pick away at the SCVs, and to give himself more time. By the time Spirit got across the map, he had already lost half his workers and a good chunk of Marines as well. With that, Showtime very patient play as well, being able to warp in those Zealots and able to get this around. GG, well played. Still very close though, honestly, still very close. Like Spirit, he barely didn't break through that defense. Was close. GG. GG, well played. With that, Showtime will claim the series, and Showtime did make it out of Group B in first place. He made it out in first place, and Spirit, he underperformed. I mean, I say that, I would say, had a good showing here against Showtime, was very intense, very intense game, and I can definitely see him taking game 1 as well. Like, game 1 was very close. There were definitely some good moments for Spirit in game 1. Here in game 2, I was hyper aggressive but didn't quite break through Showtime. But Spirit did underperform overall in the group. He did struggle in the group stage, and he did not make it out of Group B. Instead, Baby Marine, he made it out instead. Did make it through in second place alongside Showtime. GG. GG, well played. And with that, that's going to be our coverage of Group C and a little bit of Group B as well. Again, we have casted all the groups so far except for one. Group D still remains, and so far this is a bit of a shorter broadcast. We could try to cast Group D, but there's a lot of matches, and I don't know how long they are. Like today's Group C broadcast was, I would say, pretty short, because there were a lot of 2-0s, and they weren't just 2-0s, but a lot of fast games. We spoke about it at the time. Like, Spirit and Showtime was a longer series. It was 2 games, but 2 longer games. Between like Gerald and Zoun and Moja, there were a lot of 1 base all-ins and 2 base all-ins. Like, there was a lot of all-ins in Group C. So it led for some really short games and really short series. So we wrapped up Group C a little bit faster than I assumed. But Group D, we still have a lot more matches to cover. We have 6 best of 3s. 6 best of 3s in Group D. So we'll be covering that most likely either next week or the week after. Checking our schedule here. Our schedule is actually really intense. We have the Fusion Esports League that's going to be later on tonight. That's going to be at 2 AM my time. That'll be in around 14 hours. Jesus, 14 hours time. We're going to be live with the Fusion Esports League qualifiers. It's going to be the Polish qualifier for FEL. We have MSO tomorrow. We have more Fusion Esports League qualifiers on Sunday and Sunday morning and Sunday evening. Because of that, fun fact, the Fusion Esports League, I should also reiterate for those that haven't heard of it, I do recommend checking out the podcast. We did discuss it. But the Fusion Esports League is a new offline event happening in Poland, happening in Krakow. It's going to be the weekend after EWC. So just after EWC, bam, there's going to be an offline event happening in Poland, and there are going to be global qualifiers for it. There are some local qualifiers for the Polish players, for players like Gerald, Spirit, Cristiano, Mana, and many others. But there's also going to be a global qualifier as well, a couple of global qualifiers for international players. And those qualifiers are this weekend, in a couple of days. I say that tomorrow. so tomorrow are going to be those qualifiers, and we're going to be casting them in English. We're going to be the official English casters for those qualifiers and for the main event as well. So we're going to be all over the Fusion Esports League. We're going to be all over that. And because the qualifiers are all over the weekend, we will not have Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday. But instead, we're going to be rescheduling to Tuesday. So Tuna Cup is going to be on Tuesday instead of Sunday this week. It is most likely going to impact the signups and impact how big it is, which is a bit of a shame, but it's better than just skipping it. Especially because we did skip it this weekend because of HomeStory Cup. So we don't want to like delay or skip too many Tuna Cups at once. So we are going to be rescheduling to Tuesday instead, just as a heads up. So it'll be on Tuesday. We have the KSL over the weekend. We'll also be doing a KSL replay cast. KSL is tomorrow, but because of all the Fusion Esports League qualifiers and because of Masters 1 Open as well, it would be a little bit too tight to try to squeeze in KSL. We probably could, but I'll probably sacrifice a lot of sleep to try to cast KSL and Fusion Esports League and more Fusion Esports League and also admin Masters 1 Open, so a little bit too much there. So we are going to be doing KSL via replays on Tuesday as well. So Tuesday is going to be more KSL. Actually, can I show that off? Oh, let's go. there it is. You can see the Fusion Esports League 1 AM KST, 1 AM KST on Saturday and Sunday, and you can see MSO. But I also did just mention we are rescheduling that Sparkling Tuna Cup. So that STC that you see on Sunday on our schedule, that is going to be moving to Tuesday, and instead there we have another FEL qualifier, another Fusion Esports League qualifier. So we have another qualifier there instead in that time slot. So a lot of qualifiers, a lot of casting, of course, as always, and yeah, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. I do apologize for again, this schedule is a little bit out of date. I do apologize for missing a day. We had Wednesday. We had our first day off in months, by the way. For those that are curious, we had one day off. I think it was a forced day off because I was out of internet in March. So a couple of months ago, at the start of the year in March, we had one day off. Since then, we've casted every single day in 2025, except for that one day in March. And now with one day here in July as well. July 2nd, we didn't cast. So I do apologize. Some personal things came up, some things in my personal life. So I wasn't able to cast on the 2nd of July, which is why this week we weren't able to cast the Wardy TV Monday and Pegasus Cup. So we missed 2 casts, unfortunately. So I feel a little bit bad about missing that. We might do a catch-up stream of the Pegasus Cup. We might do that. Maybe in 2 weeks. That guy, like, the problem with missing some casts is that then we have to like put them back in, but like our schedule's already jam-packed anyway, so like there's no room, papi, there's no room. Aye. So we might try to squeeze them in before EWC, maybe. But yes. With that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be catching up on just editing VODs and scheduling VODs and trying to fix some things up. And again, we're going to be live again later on tonight in 14 hours time with the Fusion Esports League qualifiers. It's going to be later on tonight. So do tune in. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Ladder, no shot. Unfortunately not. Maybe next week. There's just especially because we were otherwise busy. Like I got a lot of catching up to do in other things. But thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys later on tonight or tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Thank you so much. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Let's see. I see Cosmic is playing the campaign. Patches is laddering. Who else? Reaper is laddering, but I think Reaper, he disabled raids, so I can't raid. I would like to, but I can't raid Reaper. Yo, Cosmos is streaming. Yo, let's go. Fala galera. Okay, we'll find someone to raid. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.